I think it's all types of audience, because I have seen some Americans here as well who just think that India has it has a higher crime rate, lots of rape cases are pending, and
that perception definitely exists,
right?
There's definitely a perception internationally that there's
crime,
a rape problem.
Namaste. Apka swagata.
Welcome to Reaction File. I'm Harnoor and he is Carl.
And today we're going to be reacting to India is Not What You Think. Who made this?
No idea.
But this is a reacto quest, so thank you viewers for requesting this one. Just based on the title alone, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of fun comments on this. Anything with India in the title is usually a minefield of political commentary for us. So, looking forward to it. Very excited.
So let's get started.
To the people, the doubters, my fellow critics, to everyone who ever asked anyone, how's India? This video is for you. Indians have stupid accent. India is poor. It's hot there. India is dirty, just spicy food. Slums everywhere. Indians are street charmers. These are terrible stereotypes. If I would ever write a book on India, the title that will work is We Are Not What You Think. Because that idea encapsulates everything I know about India. Like when we were struggling for freedom, the Britishers were like, you can't, you are not strong enough, we wanna reach Mars, you can't, you are not smart enough, we wanna grow faster, you can't, you don't have leader for that. I don't want to go further, but if I have to characterize what this new generation of Indians are trying to do, we are trying to do something that the one never thought of before, that we can.
Et 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
We aren't a rich, developed country, but we have a growing economy with more than 100 billionaires and a million millionaires. Right, Snapchat? We don't have a great R&D budget, but you can put a bunch of Indian scientists to work under ISRO. And the next thing you know, you are traveling in space towards Mars at the rate of 6.7 rupee per kilometer, which is less than an auto rickshaw ride in India. We don't have best English accent, but we have 122 major languages with 1,599 other languages or dialects, and spelling bee winners, of course. You don't need money, you don't need funds or an institute to prove what you are worthy of. When you are an Indian, you don't need anyone in your ear telling you what you can and can't do. You can and can't say. They call us corrupt, polluted, chaotic. But we know something they don't. You can celebrate Holi or Eid. Or you can be a Muslim dressed up as Hindu going to a Catholic school. When you are an Indian, all you need is JUG8AD. A story you wanna share.
Shortcut. So you got a shortcut.
And the rest is history. If you've never been to India or don't know what India is like, let me tell you something. The culture, diversity and life changes in India are so fast and so forth that you won't even have time to process. To all Indians watching this right now, I say, keep doing what you love. Keep creating. And don't forget, you don't have to listen to anyone, because in this new world, no one knows anything. All the people of the world drink champagne in the top deck of Titanic, and India is fucking eyes. We are not what you think.
Interesting. So let me explain. Jugaad is like shorter way of doing things, smarter way of doing things.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, I use previous year exams to prepare for my classes, right? Prepare for my exams. So this like
is cheating implied in the word?
That's not cheating, right?
Well,
that's legal.
It's certainly questionable ethically.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I don't want to. I want to get your thoughts on this first, because I already have an idea of what I think, but I want to get your opinion on it first.
Okay. I mean, it is truthful to some extent.
In what sense?
Like multicultural country, India. The culture changes if you go to a different city from one city, or even to a different state. So sometimes it changes. Even in Punjab, if you go from Amritsar, the city where I am from, to a different city, you see a different dialect.
I feel like okay. Let's go back to me, because obviously, that's not really what I'm talking about. I already know that. I already know that. This is what I find interesting. Is like maybe this is just my ignorance as an outsider, but it seems like India's perception of what the world thinks of it is based exclusively on its relationship to Britain. Is that false? Like, maybe,
I didn't get it.
Maybe, because it's like, honestly, I don't think most Americans think about India at all. Unless you interact with Indians on a regular basis, I don't think you have any. Like, we don't think about you guys at all. So it's like this idea that we have now. Maybe again, this is my bias, because generally speaking, in my interaction with non-Americans, the exchange seems to be something to the effect of America is such a huge influence on the global culture that whatever my personal opinions are about a subject are representative of global issues. So the idea that so when I hear an Indian person, I assume this guy's Indian. I think that's fair. When I hear an Indian person saying things to the effect of like, oh, you have all these conceptions, or the world has all these conceptions about India, because of my personal bias, I assume that America is included.
Oh, I see.
Or has a huge influence on what the world thinks about India. So maybe that's just my personal bias, but because of that bias, it seems like there's a deep-seated sort of lack of confidence. You know, like there's a deeply seated insecurity, or at least that's what's being portrayed. It's like the object of the video is to instill confidence in Indians, or make it seem like Indians are better or stronger than they are perceived to be. But it's hard for me to understand that, because as an American, I feel like we don't think about India at all. So it's like so I have to assume that perception is based on something that is foreign to the American experience, and the only other thing I can think is that it's based on Britain, Europe, maybe broadly, or China. I mean, who is it? Who is? It's somewhat confrontational in its tone, the video. Like, it's obviously being like, oh, you guys think things that are not correct about India. But it's like, how much of that is targeted at outsiders versus actual Indians? And if it's being targeted at Indians, then is that because Indians are deeply self-conscious and deeply insecure about their status in the world? Like, I guess that's... Because who's the audience? Is it people like me? Is it white faces? Is that the audience? Or is it... It's hard for me to understand.
I think it's all types of audience, because I have seen some Americans here as well who just think that India has a higher crime rate, lots of rape cases are pending, and
okay, that perception definitely exists,
right?
Yeah. There's definitely a perception internationally that there's
crime,
a rape problem.
Yeah,
sure, that definitely exists. But like the other stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Some people think that India just has...
I would say there's probably a significant percentage of the American population that doesn't even know where India is, like, on a map, you know?
Really?
Yeah, probably.
It's one of the 7th largest country in the world.
Well, yeah, but so is Indonesia, but no one ever talks about Indonesia.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Like,
I don't know.
Ever. Yeah, I mean, I know things, but I'm not representative of the majority of the U.S. population.
Yeah.
You know? So...
But everyone knows about Canada, right?
Canada
Yeah.
is next door. Most Canada is like the 51st state. That's a joke in America. Canada is the 51st state. There are 50 states in the United States.
Oh,
And the joke is that Canada is the 51st state.
I see.
Not Puerto Rico. It's too many brown people there. But Canada, I guess, should be fine. Anyway, that's getting slightly off topic. Yeah, because I don't know. It seems defiant, but I have to say, from an outsider, I've never been to India. I've been doing this channel for almost a year, and that's probably doing this channel and interacting with Indians that are already here in America, and whether they were born abroad or born domestically, is the entirety of my insight into Indian civilization. I don't have any direct experience, so it's hard for me to gauge what is what is the perception of the international, what is the perception of the world from the perspective of someone who is in India. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to know. It's hard for me to understand what perception this is directly trying to address.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What are your insights? What deep insights do you have into this subject?
It's like an eye-awakening video. Like, it's making awareness that India doesn't just have desert and poor people. India has rich people as well, smart people as well, who know how to solve things in a smarter way. Jugaad. You saw that word, right?
Yeah, but like my point is, help me understand it from this perspective, because I don't think that an American, let's just make it about India and the United States for a second. I don't think an American would make a video like this targeted to India. It would be about completely different subject matter. Like, maybe that's the point, you know, maybe because like I can imagine if I were trying to make some video like this, especially at least in the Middle East, I feel like the Arab world is more ignorant about about what America is like, having lived there. So like I would try to explain that, you know, not all of the women here are loose, or like, you know, we do have poverty here, like not everybody's extremely wealthy. You know, like we do have corruption and crime and problems just like every other part of the world. You know, just trying to break down the stereotypes. And I assume that that's also what's happening here. But it's like the perception, it's not I don't perceive the false perceptions as being equivalent between the cultures. That's kind of what I'm trying to address. It's like what they're saying is, it seems like half of it is targeted at Indians and half of it is targeted abroad. It seems
Correct.
like
Exactly.
it seems like they're talking
Exactly.
to Indians just as much as they're talking to foreigners.
Exactly.
Whereas if I were going to do something like this, it would be purely
For
an
foreigners.
explanation to like a specific group of people who are not from here about their misconceptions. But it's like, this doesn't really seem like that.
Yeah.
It's not pure in that sense.
Exactly. You're right.
So it betrays a deep self-consciousness. It betrays a deep insecurity that I don't have any understanding of that. I don't know what that means. You know, I can imagine that it's based on how they were treated by the British, but that's, you know, it's like it doesn't seem specifically targeted towards Britain. That's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like they're talking about the international community, but it's like, you know, the international community includes every country on Earth, including ones that never think about India at all.
Yeah.
The United States. So it's like, I think it says a lot more about the identity of Indians, or like, I want to say it, I don't want to blanket that term, but yeah, I mean maybe vaguely, it says much more about how they perceive themselves than it says about the world per se.
Correct.
You know? So.
Right.
That's just my thoughts about it.
Correct.
I don't feel like I learned anything, if that's the question. Like, I know there's rich people in India. I know every country is. Yeah, I mean, is the perception that India is very dirty and polluted?
Yes.
That perception does exist.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are parts of it that are not. I'm sure there are parts of it that are very beautiful, but
like Taj Mahal.
I think any educated, Taj Mahal also has a garbage problem.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never been there.
yeah. I mean, you can see pictures of it
Oh.
on the internet. But the point is this: is that like any educated person knows that, you know, the part of the country that you see, or the part of the country that draws the most attention, especially in a negative light, is not necessarily representative of the entire country.
Okay.
Look, I grew up in the suburbs of New York, and there's a stereotype that New York smells like a urinal, and that perception is totally justified because it smells like piss. All over the fucking city. Yeah, that perception is justified. But I don't think people think like, oh, America smells like urine. You know, like that isn't. I don't internalize that. You know what I mean? Because like just because it's true in one particular place doesn't mean. I'm not worried that the entire world thinks that all of the United States smells like urine just because that happens to be true about one particular metropolitan area, which I just happen to be from, you know, like. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it says more about the person. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have anything you want to add about this? You have anything you want to say about this?
Yeah, I think Americans do care about Indians because have you seen how many startups have been started by Indians in America? How many companies have Indians as the CEO and also on the senior level positions? So most of the literate and educated people do care about India and they search about India.
But literate and educated people are also not going to be the ones that buy into the ridiculous stereotypes that might exist. Like, see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
right?
I get the point. Yeah,
I mean, you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. So I think these stereotypes are made by people when they talk about India.
Let me give you an example that I think most Indians are aware of. Mm-hmm. Like, Sikhs, particularly turban-wearing Sikhs, are often mistaken for Arabs here in America because people are fucking ignorant.
They don't know about
it. They don't know. They're like they don't know. I know people that grow up near Indian communities in general. I can't say universally, but in general do know this.
Yeah.
But like these are the kinds of people that you would be concerned with as believing stereotypes.
Correct.
Like that's who this video is targeted towards. You know
yeah, they can't even do a simple Google search.
Like
they don't have interest.
You're not gonna influence them with this. Like they're never gonna see this video.
Yeah, you're right.
That's just the reality. They're never gonna see this video.
That's correct.
And also like they just don't matter.
Yeah, and I completely agree now.
Do
you know Sikhism is the 5th largest religion in the world? And I asked some of my classmates, I told them I'm a Sikh. They don't know what this religion is. They've never heard about it. That's also proves
Christianity, Islam, Buddhism. Yeah, I mean, what would come after?
Hinduism.
Oh yeah, of course, Hinduism.
And then Sikhism.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Communism.
Maybe. But that proves you are right. Yeah. They don't know about Sikhism. They might know about Hinduism because Trump has talked about Hindus sometimes in his campaigns. So.
Yeah, I mean, but by that, yeah, I just think that. If the goal is to educate the ignorant, good luck. Good luck. I think a more useful video would be. I think the more useful part of the video is the sort of the inspirational part, where it's like, oh, I don't need anybody to tell me I can and can't do things. But I think that I think that a stronger focus should be on the fact that a lot of that is just internalized and that most people don't care about you.
Correct.
Like most people on the planet, I mean, of course, 1/6 of them are from India, so excluding that, most people on the planet do not think about India at all. So don't worry about what they think. I think that's a good message. I think that's a strong message. And it's like the British are. I don't know how many British people there are. I would guess it's like 80 million. It's like such a small fraction compared to India or the rest of the world for that matter, that if that's really who this is for, like if the internalization of the idea of the Britishers. I don't understand where that word comes from, Britishers, but okay. If that's such a huge element in the psyche of Indian people, they need to get over that. And I think that there's a lot of potential useful videos that could be made on that subject. And in that sense, I think it succeeds. But otherwise, it's somewhat confusing.
Correct.
Yeah. To me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Namaste.
Goodbye.